Hello, hello. Back for another fun time adventures at the mansion with all our friends. Last time was a bit concerning, you know? Dean died. Orlando went on trial. Roswell probably committed suicide. That's what I gather from that letter. And we used the vault for the first time. I hope they explain that. And now we're back at like the beginning of day 6, I think. I wonder how much dialogue I have to like sift through. That was like from that I already did before like the changes happen because of using the vault. Curious. Let me load my game. Yes. By the time we assembled in the dining room, Orlando went into the kitchen only to bring us out breakfast. You know, you really don't have to cater for us. I know, but it's fun. I promise this won't last the whole month. Although I do wonder if people are going to be upset if they have to settle for cereal and toast. I mean, I will. Actually, I just won't eat breakfast. I think Orlando would hate me because of that. Like, I'd wake up and just be like, nah. I like hate eating as soon as I wake up. That just feels bad. Orlando slunk back into the kitchen, presumably to grab more things. Oh God, for breakfast. So, anyone doing anything interesting today? Thinking about trying the gym downstairs. You know, something different. Did you need someone to spot you? Wasn't expecting you to offer something like that. You can get crushed and hurt yourself for all I care then. Okay, sorry. I'll be glad for this assist. I just wasn't expecting it. I'll probably go for a swim and then head into the forest. Oh, I think I want to go for a swim. It'd be nice to check out the hot tub, too. I think I'll spend the day in the kitchen. What, again? Well, you know, but I wanted to learn. You don't know how to cook, Sal? Well, yes, but nothing fancy. He told me the last time he tried something fancy, and, well, it was a story, to be sure. Seemed like everyone had plans for the day, and here I was with nothing really grabbing me. Why don't you join Dean and I, Dave? What, at the pool? Yeah, who knows? Could even check out the hot tub later, too. I could probably go for taking a dip in there, too. Although, really, I just want to wade around in the water, given the temperature seems nice. Well, alright, I guess I'll join you guys today, then. So we're just, like, actually redoing this day. Is this Endless 8 the game? Because I'd be so okay with that. Are people still upset about the Endless 8? Is that still a thing? Oh well. Is that too boomer? For people to remember? Oh. I don't want to think about that. We pretty much set out right away, telling the guys we've reconvened at lunch. Pool, yeah. The sun was out and it was pleasantly warm. How often do you get to have a pool in your backyard, Dave? Never. How could you not be excited, Dave? It's a pool. Careful, or you'll start to sound like Dean with the hot tub. Hey now, it's a hot tub. In fact, I was going to the hot tub right now. Okay. Well, I'm going to see if I remember how to swim. You don't know if you remember? Well, it's been a while. I figured it's like riding a bike, right? Well, maybe. Stick to the shallow end until you're certain you remember. Roswell eased into the pool and began to paddle in place, although I could see he still had his feet firmly on the bottom of the pool. Well, we were always going to Dean. Leaving Roswell to get reacquainted with the pool, I wander over to Dean, fiddling with the controls off to the side. What happened to getting into the hot tub? Hey, cut me some slack. I only just got over here. Despite turning back to the controls, he seemed to be hesitating switching them on. Struggling to turn them on, or seemed to be working fine last night? No, that's not it. Just trying to figure out what temperature I want it at. Obviously, hot is best, but maybe that's that's overkill, given it's already sunny. But if you're joining me, why don't you pick? Dean then came in close and shooting Roswell a cautious look before returning his attention to me. And if you want, we could make out a little while Roswell's not looking. I glance over to Roswell, where Roswell was, who seemed content just splashing around for the time being, seemingly lost in his own thoughts. Well, we kissed him last time, right? So, we're just gonna get in the hot tub. I figured that with Roswell preoccupied, there really wasn't much harm in taking a dip in the hot tub beforehand. But there was no way I was going to make out with Dean again and risk getting caught by Roswell. No telling what sort of reaction he might have. I slipped into the hot tub and sat back as the bubbles started. So, last night was pretty good, right? You mean the movie? Sure, the movie. Dean then came in real close, pressing his body against mine. And then maybe everything that happened after. I didn't come on too strong, did I? You always do. Lost the right to ask that when you kissed me. Okay, you got me there. But you know that was the next step, is after that though, right? Already pushing for more? We both laughed it off, although I did catch Dean adjusting himself under the water. If you're lucky, maybe you'll get to see what I'm packing sooner rather than later. Maybe. Oh, really? Well, if you want to see what I've got, you just need to say the word. Oh. Okay. We weren't sitting in the tub for all too long before Roswell came to see what we were doing before jumping in. The three of us sat in a reluctant silence, relative silence, enjoying the heat and the bubbles. Oh, that's right. Did either of you have any interest in magic? Like wizards or like Vegas? More like Vegas, I'd think. Although, if you're a wizard, Dean, you better share your magic secrets. You know, I do have a few tricks, but I don't think they'd constitute magic given the wand I use. Wait, you have a wand? Moving on. Did you pick up a few more magic tricks since last time, Roswell? Well, kinda. Although, more importantly, I want to know if either of you would be interested in being my assistant. Assistant? I don't think I've said that's word enough to pull off that skimpy costume. That's all on Dave. Hey now, we don't know if we need to wear a costume. We don't have to wear a costume, do we? No. I was just wondering because it turns out all the neat traditional tricks are better done with an assistant, and wanted to give them a try. Well, like what, like sawing someone in half? Exactly. Well, count me out then. I don't want to get sawed in half. Well, you're a killjoy. The three of us talk until it's time for lunch, each of us heading back inside to get changed while heading down to the dining room. We somehow all ended up back in the kitchen, eating leftover pizza from the night before. Pizza's still good. Of course it's good. I made it. Guess you have your uses after all. Who do you think think has been making breakfast? Benson, right? Orlando, obviously. Yeah, I think Benson's had. I don't think Benson's had much to do at all, really. Orlando's been doing most of it, if not all of the meals you've eaten, Tyson. So can he actually cook or not? Benson, I mean. You'd have to think so, right? Means Orlando could take a break. Hey, I'm here, you know, and I like cooking. Yeah, we know. Just don't want you going overboard. When we eat our fill, we each start branching off. For the afternoon. Oh, Dave. Hmm. Before I had a chance to get anything else out, I was picked up by the midsection and squeezed in for a tight hug. Whoa. Gotcha. Oh, are we doing this again? Oh, okay. Oh, whatever. Feeling right. Man, this is a lot of just like the same dialogue. Is this just how you're going to greet me from now on? Well, sure, why not? Unless there's a problem on your end. Can stop if you want. Figured that maybe should wait until we're all alone, though. Probably a good idea for now, at least while we're testing the waters, right? Of course. Speaking of testing the waters, want to go on a date? Whoa, is this finally happening? Well, maybe not in the original sense of what I was thinking, but I figure we can still do stuff together alone. Well, what did you have in mind? I was talking to Orlando over lunch and pitched the idea of having stew, maybe. See if we had any mushrooms out in the woods to add to it. Mushrooms, really? Hey, I'm not much of a hunter, so looking for some sort of game to use it on. Besides, the main appeal is that we'll be out there by ourselves, you know, all alone. I rolled my eyes, clearly not giving him the acknowledgement he was looking for to the prospect of having some privacy outdoors. Dean then came in close, whispering in my ear. And I guess if you wanted to fool around a bit while we have the privacy, that's an option too. Turned out he just took that as an invitation to be blunt about it, and asked up front, ignoring him as a groan. Dean backed off and laughed heartedly. It was hard to tell if he was genuine about the suggestion. I wanted to say he was, but with how he was also brushing it off confused me. Well, yeah, maybe if you're lucky. I'm curious. Because this is like just all the same. Oh. Here, let me go into settings. And we'll skip. What does this mean? Does this mean I won't skip unseen text, or that I will skip it? Oh. I'll just keep following. We'll do a little bit different. See if that changes anything. I smile at him, giving him a thumbs up and grinning back, followed by the resolute nod. I reckon here's a good place to start looking. All right, what should we look for? Nothing specific. Just be careful. If you find something, let me know, and I'll make sure it's safe first. Can't have you getting sick or getting the others sick by picking something deadly. Wait, there's deadly mushrooms out here? Don't know for certain, but more than likely. Doesn't hurt to be careful, though. How bad are we talking? Well, let's see. Some can make you very sick. Others will just kill. No straight away, not straight away, mind you, but eat one and you're toast. And I guess everything else is either, whatever, hallucinations. Huh. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I don't really know much, but yeah, that's a thing. Okay. I just don't know how much I want to, like, reread is the question, right? Like, I guess I'll look for Dean this time. There was no point staying here after all. If I kept moving, there was every likelihood that Dean would just stumble across me anyway, right? Dean? My voice echoed off to the trees around me, and this time I heard the rustling in bushes somewhere in the distance, my voice having disturbed something or someone nearby. Dean, is that you? Silence. I was surrounded by it, and after a while I parked up by the base of the tree, just listening, waiting for Dean to come and find me. Dave, where are you? I must have fallen asleep, but oh, okay, so it's like the same exact thing. Why'd you wander off? Blah, 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 blah. I just want to get to the dinner and see if, like, Dean dies again. You know what I mean? Like, Dean took each mushroom off in turn, double-checking them, blah, blah, yeah. Guess I better grab Roswell if I want to search for anything else, huh? Guess so, yeah. I looked past Dave towards the darkness, wondering if the thing I saw was a thing. I don't know. You okay? I know this was a poor excuse for a date, but oh yeah, it's a blah blah. It's just we're just doing the same bits again. Sure. Dean, you can still give me a goodnight kiss. Yeah. We made this far less intimate than we did last time. I say we, but it's like my fault. Orlando, I bring mushrooms. Oh, mushrooms? Yeah, Dean and I went into the forest, and he showed me how to pick these. Oh, mushroom. Yeah, I still don't know how this word's pronounced. Right, they're pretty telling from their color, no? Apparently they look like a dangerous one, too. Jack-o'-lanterns? I look over to Orlando, whose eyes are darting from the basket, and I was holding over to Roswell, not wanting to get any closer. These are all good, right? Did you want me to check? Dean checked them, and he said they were all fine, but it couldn't hurt to have, like, Roswell look at the mushrooms, right? Right? Roswell's not a killer. He's not the one who slipped the death cap into whatever. I mean, this just all looks like the same dialogue. Roswell waved off to Orlando, looking at me funny. Oh. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. I made Dave very horny for Dean. It's funny. You see, it's funny because I actually like Tyson more, but, you know, chose Dean for keks, I guess. What do you have in mind? Oh, nothing major. Just a few. Oh yeah, when he was like being a cool friend and was like, hey, sexual things. That's a thing, right? I'll give you some advice. That's what bros do, right? No stew, right? I helped Orlando set the table. Supposedly Benson had been scarce enough to not do it for us. Not that we really needed his help. Nope, there's leftover pizza thing, actually. Okay. Like, I just realized that I never double checked if the audio recorded, like, was actually recording or not. Nope, there's leftover pizza still if anyone still wants that instead of these steaks and mushrooms. I mean, I'd go for steak. Fucking love that. I think Dean was looking forward to stew, although I'm not really sure. Well, he's going to have to deal. That said, you guys got heaps of mushrooms, so maybe we can do stew tomorrow night. Did I hear someone say stew? We're back with mushrooms. Whoa, how many did you get? Yeah, we sort of went overboard, sorry. What they're... Oh, the bottom was with a basket. Yeah, it's still... Now, what are these? Patty straws. At least that's what Roswell reckons. Have to be careful, though. They look almost the same as death caps if you aren't careful. Okay. I'm guessing they're pretty bad. That doesn't begin to describe it. Eating one puts you on maybe a very painful 6-hour clock. They're pretty bad, Dave. Can't even cook them without them contaminating the dish. Yes, yes, yes. I looked again at the basket Dean was carrying, suddenly wondering just how sure Roswell was at making sure these hadn't death bags by mistake. Don't worry, Dave. Death cats smell pretty distinct, almost like cleaning chemicals, so you'd be hard-pressed to miss one. I caught a glimpse of Dean flashing me with a confident smile before I nodded to Roswell. All right, if you say so. Despite all the mushrooms that Dean and Roswell had picked, all of them seemed to be staying in the kitchen, as that Roswell had ended up in the plate between us, with not another inside. Wait. Okay. I had Dean on one side, Tyson on the other side of me. The wolf seemed content to dig into his steak without paying anyone else any mind. Dean, on the other hand, have you ever had one of these mushrooms yet? Not yet. Why? In one sweeping, motion, Dean plucked one from his platter and held it towards my mouth. Come on, you'll like it, promise. Still doing the hand feeding thing, and I suppose Orlando will come over and swipe it. Do something wrong? Wait. That isn't what happened. At the mention of that, I yelled, suddenly clamping my mouth shut, and all the while aggressively knocking Dean's hand away, watching as the mushroom in his hand fell to the floor, and the rest of the table going quiet. Did I do something wrong? I felt my heart pounding in my chest, remembering what I'd seen earlier. Dean, the image of him slumped over, lifeless, flashing in my head, and I felt a pang of sadness begin to well up. Or maybe it wasn't sadness, just relief, seeing him still alive. You okay, Dave? Actually, maybe you'd benefit from some fresh air. Your eyes are going all weird. Dean stood up, gesturing me to follow him. As I did, Tyson grabbed me by the arm, giving me a hard stare, searching my face for a few moments before letting me go with a nod. I stepped cautiously over the mushroom on the floor and followed after Dean, looking at all the people still at the table. Most seemed confused. Orlando was in the middle of picking up the mushroom from the floor, catching my eye with a look of hurt as we left the dining room. Dean held the door open for me and closed it behind us when we were both at the by ourselves. So, want to tell me what I did wrong, or should I just apologize? Because if it's about trying to feed you, I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean anything by it. Just thought it would be something cute. Promise. If I'm moving too fast, just let me know. I promise I won't be offended. Please don't be upset with me. I didn't mean. I sighed out, holding my arms and half hugged myself. Are you cold? I could give you a shirt if that help. Dean, yeah? You aren't thinking of killing yourself, are you? Wow, that's forward. In a different way. Excuse me? You heard me. You haven't. That's not a very nice thing to suggest, Dave. Also makes for a shitty joke. Why would you even ask something like that out of the blue? I didn't know. I just, when I went to the vault and messed around with it, again, that image flashes in my head and I shut my eyes tight, trying to force it out of my head through a sheer will. I thought I saw you dead, poisoned, I think. What? I know it's dumb, but just please tell me that you're not. Never. I would never. Distressing to think about, but, well, damn, if we're being honest, I have too much to live for. I'm not going to go all soppy? Okay, saying that I'm only living because I'm hoping to be with you. That's not fair for either of us, and would be a lie. Don't get me wrong. I'm almost certain my life is better with you in it. The more the better, I think anyway. I can promise you this, though. This bear is 100% wanting to live. So come here, you silly hyena, and give me a hug. I didn't really need to move. Dean took it upon himself to close the distance and squeeze me tight. It was sweet, tender moment right up until I heard his stomach growl. Oh, right, I kind of flipped out, didn't I? To be honest, being a little bit hungry is okay on my end to make sure you're okay. Hell, I'll settle for leftover pizza if there aren't any mushrooms left. Hang on, did I wash my hands? Dean, really, you didn't wash hands before dinner? Sorry, normally I do, especially important after foraging. I don't know if I touched anything nasty out there. Roswell was doing most of the guiding, but there were some sticky mushrooms out there for sure. Sticky, like you touched something sticky and didn't wash your hands? They smelled weird too, but yeah, when we were coming back, I got caught up asking Roswell stuff. Must have just forgot. What topic of conversation would have been that distracting you? Well, that distracted. Well, let a bear have his secrets. I'm sure you'll find out eventually. We headed back, and when we got there, I apologized to everyone before sitting down, keeping my gaze averted out of embarrassment for the scene I caused. Dean went to sit down before giving me a look and nodding, detoured to the kitchen, presumably to wash his hands. Tyson, sitting there picking his teeth with his knife, looked to me and quirked a brow. So you gonna tell me what that was about? Do I need to beat him up for you? Tyson's such a cool guy, right? I'll definitely do his route second. I just kind of only didn't do his because I kind of thought if friends watched this, they would have been like, of course you would choose Tyson. So I was like, oh, I'll choose Dean because I'm not I'm not predictable. I swear. Feels bad. Oh no, not at all. Just me being weird. Whoops, turned off my microphone for a second on the accident. Hope that's fine in the recording. Tyson gave me another hard stare before shrugging. Yeah, all right, sure, whatever, you weirdo. I'm starved. Dean sat down, eyeing all off the meat that had been left beside when he went outside, pausing to himself to me briefly. Hands all clean, promise. I was still on edge, keeping an eye on Dean as he ate merrily. The more I watched, the more I wondered the implication of what I'd seen in the vault. Had someone poisoned Dean at some point? Were they still going to? Even beyond that, why? It was Orlando. I know it. He's the one that stops Dean from feeding you with his poison tainted hands or something. I don't know. He was just lying during the bad end epilogue. Everyone else had left, with the exception of Orlando, who was cleaning up after dinner. But even he didn't linger. Presumably, he was either going to do the dishes later, or Benson had them covered. Dean, however, was now watching me carefully, visibly uncertain of what to say. So I'm not sure I feel comfortable leaving you alone just yet. You sure you're okay? Me? Shouldn't I be asking you that question? I guess, but I haven't told you to... but I already told you I'm fine, right? Just it bothers me that you'd think something like that. Did you want to talk about it? I don't even know. There isn't really much to say, really. I guess it was just a bad nightmare or daydream. No kidding, still. Just know I'm not going anywhere, or don't plan to anyway. That does remind me, though. I need to go do something outside, out in the greenhouse before turning in for the night. But was wondering if you maybe wanted to sleep in the same bed tonight. Okay, so we're still on that. I don't want to take advantage. Was planning on asking when I got back from the woods, and the timing just made it hard. I'm fine either way, just throwing it out there. mean, I kind of still want to say yes, you know. I found myself nodding, weighing it up. Yeah, that would be nice, actually. Unless you're talking about taking that step. I don't know yet. We could if you want, no pressure. I'm just down to get some cuddling in. Honestly, with all that, the making out we've done, it'd just be nice to, cuddle a bit. Cuddling does sound nice, though. Although I think I'm going to need a shower first. Don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I don't think you need to be smelling me all sweaty after a day outdoors. I'll go finish up in the greenhouse and meet you upstairs. If you decide when I get there you don't want to, no problem. As Dean got up to leave, I grabbed him by the hand, giving him a hard stare. Everything all right? I won't be long. Go on. I let my hand fall, and Dean headed towards the backyard. I sat there for a few more moments before wandering upstairs and jumping into the shower. With the hot water falling on me. Oh, we're not doing the CG with him in the shower this time? Okay. With the hot water on me, I start to feel better. Even just resting my head on the tiles made me realize how exhausted I was after a sudden whiplash of thought, whatever. What is wrong with me? Dave, you almost done in the shower? Oh, yeah, almost done. Guess whatever he was doing in the greenhouse didn't take all that long. Although, the thought of just stepping out in front of Dean, even with just a towel, made me nervous. Something about the context of being naked around Dean, it was hard to say. Well, I don't mind the view at all. I was dry, but still clung to the towel around my waist as Dean sat on my bed, watching me carefully. What do I have to do to see you without the towel, though? Should I undress too? Just throw me some underwear or something so I don't have to hold on to the towel. Dean rolled his eyes and threw me a pair I'd put on my bed before jumping into the shower. He even did the courtesy of putting his hands over his eyes, although I could see him peeking through the gaps between his fingers. Mind if I take my shower too? Saves me the trouble of going back to my room to do it. Oh, By the time I look, he had already relieved himself of his shirt and pants. Oh, I also got this for you. He stepped up close, holding a single cut rose from the greenhouse. I took it from him carefully, staring at it and feeling my cheeks go red. As I look at it, though, Dean wrapped his arms around me, tucking them under my waistband, and grabbed my ass. Of course he did, of course. So you hold on to that, and when I get out of the shower. He brought his mouth to my ear, speaking softly in a lusty tone. Maybe you'll show me the rest of your... Yeah, okay. I tense up suddenly, enough for Dean to pull back and look at me carefully. You, doing all right? Oh, yeah, it's just I haven't... Dean tilted his head at me at the silence lingers, the realization hitting him suddenly after near a minute of waiting for me to continue. Wait, you haven't? At all? With anyone? I shook my head and Dean pulled his hands off my rear, taking a step back. Oh, wow, I didn't know how this... I don't know how this hasn't come up before, but I'm glad you told me. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be your first, but I think maybe handling this a little slower would be good. You assumed I wasn't a virgin? You're kidding, right? I'm surprised no one's been there yet with how handsome you are. I felt my cheeks flush again. That said, I think maybe spending the night apart might be better. I want to protest, but Dean held up a hand, continuing. This is more out of respect for you. I'm pretty riled up right now, and I don't think doing anything less than what you deserve for the first time is going to do us any favors. Don't get me wrong, I want to go there, but I'm quite big, so it's not exactly something we can do real quick, and I'm very much in this spot where, given the opportunity, I would destroy you. Jesus Christ, Dean. In a good way, I guess. The sound of the distant thunder rumble from outside while Dean sheepishly composed himself. Tell you what, we'll pass on tonight. It'll give me a chance to blow off some steam and take a shower afterwards at my own pace, and you can take some time to decide if this is what you want. Starting tomorrow, if you say you want it, well, all right. We'll find a time that works so we can make it special. That said, though, so long as we've got this trial arrangement going, you're basically my boyfriend, and I'm going to cop a feel whenever I want. Okay. So long as it's appropriate. Promise. Oh, all right. Dean wandered back to the over to the bed to pick up his clothes, not bothering to put them on. Looking at the state of his underwear, chances are people he'd pass on the way to his room might get the wrong impression of what went down while he was here. Still, he headed towards the door, reaching the doorknob before stopping himself, looking at me. Am I forgetting anything? Yeah, where's my goodnight kiss? Right you are. Better come get it then. I almost glanced over to where Dean was and threw my arms around his neck as he put his free hand on my hip, kissing me tenderly. Good night, Dave. Well, sleep well. For the brightest of moments, I thought he was going to say something else, but he waved it off before disappearing out the door. I looked at the rose he had given me and revealed in the gesture I was only guessing based on what Dean was saying, what I saw. But maybe he was right. It was better hold off if I hadn't done it before. That wasn't to say I didn't want it, or at least my attitude on it had shifted towards wanting it over the past couple days. With the thundering rolling, I figured it was best to settle in for the night. As I lay in my bed listening to the thunder, my thoughts wandered. I could almost smell Dean's slightly earthy musk mixed in with the honey scent he used either as cologne or as shampoo. It was quickly becoming a trigger, making me squirm on the bed that was far too empty without him next to me. I'd left the rose on the one side of the table and looked at it fondly, realizing the irony that likely quite soon I'd be giving my flower up to Dean in some gross, romantic, disgusting way, whatever. Which would be fine if he hadn't put the idea of getting hammered proper into my head. The longer I lay there, the more I noticed the faintness of the background noise seemingly coming from everywhere in the room, like the walls themselves were breathing. I rolled off the bed and stood in the middle of the room, trying to pinpoint the location of the sound. Where is this coming from? Hello? The sudden greeting made me jumped. I sounded garbled. Garbled? Yeah, whatever. Almost like they were putting on a fake answer. Who's there? Is it good that we finally get to talk? It is good that we finally get to talk. Where are you is a good question. Here, in the mansion with you. I slapped my face, thinking hadn't fallen asleep. The cameras are currently non-operational, but planting the microphones and speakers seemed to be without issue. You bugged the room? To keep things simple, let's say yes. Immediately, I start to search the room for bugs. Please pay attention. I've come to warn you, to deliver 2 messages. I stopped, listening to what the voice had to say. The first message is thus: you and your friends are in grave danger. Yeah, from who? Truthfully, it is not that simple. The most I know is that it is someone inside, or at the very least, nearby the mansion. Oh, great. Come on, Dave, wake up. Have I made you nervous? I didn't mean to cause alarm. After giving myself a few more slaps as a precaution, I was convinced I was awake. Are you quite all right? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Just thoroughly creeped out that my room is bugged by some guy telling me I'm about to die. For what it's worth, I'm truly sorry. The second, no, hold on. Holding? First of all, this is fucking insane. Second, why are you telling me? Third, what the fuck? The absurdity and my nerves were starting to get the better of me. That classic hyena snickering starting to punctuate how nervous I was getting over time. Please understand. Please understand. I do this only to warn you. I do not want to see people die. At first, I did not think there was any real danger until I saw you in the vault. The vault? I did not expect someone to get it to work, honestly. It was never meant to function at all. I rubbed my eyes, tiredness catching up with me. Yeah, well, it was just a hallucination or something. I don't know. A hallucination that saved someone's life. The comment hung in the air while I moved back over to bed, closing my eyes and trying to get some sleep. The likelihood of you believing me is near 0%, I can tell. I just want to get some sleep. Go talk to someone else. Unfortunately, there isn't the time. I needed to relay these messages to you now before it happens again. After all, I know what you did. And what did I do? You saved a life, more than what I could accomplish with all the knowledge I've accumulated over the years. I didn't save anyone. Oh, really? Then I suppose then I suppose reminding Dean to wash his hands was just goodwill. Either way, I could not send Benson without knowing what you saw. Benson, he works for you? He's my butler. Of course he does. Although you'll find him a lot less of an ally than I can be currently. I wondered what Benson had been told or ordered to do, but it was becoming more likely that he was the one that installed the bugs in my room. Well, all right. But what do I call you then? That is difficult to answer. Not even a code name or anything? There was nothing but static for a while before the voice came through again. Oz. Like the Wizard of? Is this acceptable? Fine, whatever. Oz it is. You had a second message, right? Ah, yes. Correct. The second message was the motive for you to stay. Understandably, having your life at risk may cause you to want to flee, but I assure you this is a bad decision. Give me one reason. If you can make it through your time here alive, along with all your friends, I can consider it a success. However, as it stands, the shadow of death lingers over at least one of your friends regardless. It was sounding like this ally was suddenly a lot more malicious than he was letting on. What if we leave, you're going to kill one of us? No, this is what I wish to avoid. I cannot speak for who is behind this, however. It is merely what I have discovered. As a sign of good faith, I can arrange for the chauffeur to take you back to your home right now if you wish, or at the very least, a publicly available taxi if you do not feel safe. Huh? I respect that this has come out of nowhere, and asking you to trust a disembodied voice, claiming there is death in store for you and your own, is near insanity. But please, trust in me. I was in that strange state where I was tired, but awake enough for everything to start sinking in. What if seemed to be the one question sticking with me. What if we were all in danger? What if the only way to save my friends was to stay? But what if this person on the other side of the microphone was lying? What if they're the reason I had that gut feeling and vision that my friend's demise? I had a choice to make: stay or leave. If I felt I could guarantee at least my own life and a trip to a therapist afterwards. But if I stay, who knows what could happen? It all came down to if I could trust Oz or not. Yeah, I'll stay. Okay, I'll stay. This brings much relief, friend. But what am I meant to do now? I would suggest sleeping. I'll see what I can find out for you and relay it when I can confirm you're alone. It is best that, in case one of your friends is behind this, my intervention on their plan goes unnoticed. So what? I'm supposed to doubt my friends? In the interest of being rational, no. It would make no sense for you to put everything to trust in me. Anyway, you will need your friends to get through this. And what if I need to contact you? There should be no need. I promise that, assuming we can talk again tomorrow night, You can ask me as many questions as you like, and I'll do my best to answer. You'll do your best? I do not know everything, and nor do I wish to give myself away. Fine, fine. I have my questions ready. Okay, well, sleep well, friend. You too, I guess. But the only thing that greeted me was silence, not even any background noise to say that the speakers were still broadcasting. Okay, back to trying to sleep, I guess. No sooner had I laid my head on my pillow and the rain started to fall. Soon after that, I drifted off to sleep. Day 7. Man, I feel bad because I have like half a mind of just starting like Tyson's route. I'm a bad person. I know. But I kind of want like, do I continue doing this for the LP purpose and hang out with Horny Bear? Or I have heard that there are passwords like that cross chapters, so like it is highly suggested to do all the routes. I don't know. I might. I think I'll start Tyson's route, see how much I like it, and then continue. No, I do want to. I'm being a coward. Just because I'm like LPing this. I totally would have like, if I wasn't recording, I would have just like went back and did it without even questioning. But yeah, maybe next time start up Tyson's route like a coward. And yeah, maybe. See you around.